That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Or one giant special effects budget. Can you believe that after 50 years, conspiracy theories about the moon landing are still in orbit? Roughly 6% of Americans believe the moon landing was faked, while another 5% are undecided. What do you think it would take to pull off such a hoax? How many people would have to keep quiet? And how much would it cost? Lights, camera, action. July 16th, 1969, exterior, launch pad. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins board the Apollo 11 spacecraft bound for the moon. Across the world, 600 million people watch live as the three men are launched into space, land safely on the moon, plant the stars and stripes, and make it home safely. Come to think of it, that does sound a lot like Hollywood. But can you think of a studio with a $150 billion operating budget? In total, the Apollo program was allocated $24 billion to get to the moon, roughly 60% of NASA's budget at the time. That equals $150 billion in today's dollars. Assuming all that money went into pulling off the perfect hoax, how would they have spent it? Let's start with payroll. At the time, NASA had about 411,000 employees. An Oxford physicist, Dr. David Grimes, calculated that the secret might have had a chance to stay quiet for as long as 3 years and 8 months with that many people. So how do you keep 411,000 employees quiet about a fake moon landing mission for longer than 3 years? A bribe might be able to buy some silence. Today's NASA employees earn an average of $62,500. If you divide the Apollo budget in today's dollars amongst a workforce of 411,000 people, it comes to a payout of roughly $365,000 per person. Of course, employees would have had to accept much less, given the cost of the equipment and the production needed to fake a moon landing. You may have noticed that the shadows in the photographs of the moon landing appear to be parallel. Image forensics say these shadows accurately reflect the sun's position from 93 million miles away. Under conventional studio lighting, the shadows would appear more divergent, meaning NASA would have to step up their game in order to achieve a convincing look. To properly fake the sun's lighting in the 1960s would require a wall of millions of powerful laser lights so close together they'd be like pixels on a computer screen. Now consider that the $150 billion committed to the Apollo program was spent on 6 separate visits to the moon. So whatever the cost of the first conspiracy, bribes, equipment, etc., multiply that by 6. In 2009, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter sent back high-resolution photographs of each of the Apollo moon landing sites, showing boot marks left by astronauts. To fake these, NASA would have had to send something to the moon, like a robotic rover to make some tracks. The combined cost of the vehicle and the mission to put it on the moon would be roughly $68 million. Then another $504 million for a lunar orbiter to take the pictures. The bottom line of this prolonged spending spree is that the cost of faking a moon landing far outweighs the cost of doing it for real. Luckily, we're a species that puts its money where its mouth is, especially when we get curious. And how's your appetite for adventure? Are you ready for another one?